The bell rang, and the hallway of Lincoln High exploded with noise, lockers slamming, sneakers squeaking, chatter buzzing. But amidst the chaos, a new face stepped into the building, quietly, almost unnoticed. Her name was Ria. Petite, with soft brown eyes and a calm expression, she looked like the kind of girl who might get lost in a crowd. But Ria was anything but ordinary. She had transferred mid-semester from another city, her family seeking a quieter life after her mother's illness. The weight of change pressed heavy on her shoulders. A new school, unfamiliar faces, and the pressure to fit in. Still, she walked with steady confidence, hiding the emotional storm inside. She missed her old friends. She missed home. But what she missed most was the feeling of safety. Lincoln High had its share of good kids. But like every school, it also had its shadows, a group of boys who prowled the halls, smirking, mocking, and pushing boundaries. They called themselves the Kings. Their leader, Chad, had a twisted charm, tall, athletic, with a smile that hid his cruelty. He was used to getting away with everything. Ria first encountered them during lunch on her third day. She was quietly eating alone in the corner of the cafeteria when she felt it, eyes on her. Whispers. Then the laughter. One of them mimicked her accent. Another called her quiet mouse. She ignored it. She had learned long ago that silence often spoke louder than words. But they didn't stop. Over the next few days, the teasing escalated. They'd brush past her in hallways, knock her books down accidentally, laugh when she bent to pick them up. She never responded. Her quiet strength only irritated them more. Then came the incident. It was after school, near the side parking lot. The hallway was nearly empty. Ria had stayed back for an art project and was collecting her things from her locker when the boys showed up. "Hey, new girl," Chad called, swaggering over with his crew behind him. "You think you're too good to talk to us?" Ria didn't answer. She simply closed her locker and turned to walk away. That's when it happened. One of the boys lunged forward and tried to lift the back of her skirt, laughing as the others egged him on. In that split second, everything changed. Ria's body moved instinctively. Her hands shot down to block the grab. Then, without hesitation, she spun around and delivered a perfect sweep kick, sending the boy sprawling to the floor with a thud that echoed down the corridor. Gasps filled the air. Chad stepped forward, furious. What the hell was that? Ria didn't flinch. Her eyes were calm, steady, like a storm building silently. He reached for her arm. Bad idea. She twisted her wrist free in a flash, pivoted on her heel, and delivered a precise elbow strike to his gut. Chad doubled over, coughing. Another boy tried to grab her from behind, but she flipped him over her shoulder like a rag doll. Within seconds, all three were on the ground, groaning, stunned. Ria stood tall. Not angry. Not triumphant. Just calm. A teacher rushed in moments later, having heard the noise. Security followed. The boys tried to twist the story, but there were cameras, and more importantly, witnesses. A girl from the art club had seen it all and spoke up without hesitation. The boys were suspended. Ria was taken to the principal's office, not for punishment, but to be praised for her bravery and self-control. Word spread through the school like wildfire. The girl who never spoke, the girl they mocked, the girl they tried to humiliate, was a black belt in karate. Years of discipline, respect, and inner strength. She had trained since she was 6. Not to fight, but to protect. Not to hurt, but to stand. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. The same students who ignored her before now looked at her with respect. Some apologized. A few girls even asked her to teach them self-defense. She started a small club, Warrior Hearts, a safe space for anyone who felt small, afraid, or unheard. Through it all, Ria stayed humble. She never bragged. Never gloated. When asked why she didn't fight back earlier, she simply said, "I don't fight for pride. I fight when I have no other choice." Her strength wasn't in her kicks or punches. It was in her silence. Her restraint. Her ability to rise without stepping on others. But the biggest transformation wasn't Ria's. It was in the school itself. Teachers became more attentive. Students started standing up for one another. The culture began to shift. Ria had lit a spark. And others began to carry the flame. She had walked into Lincoln High as a stranger. Quiet. Alone. Overlooked. But she left a legacy, not just of strength, but of courage, resilience, and dignity.